What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Once again, we're talking Donald Trump. We're talking about Strokeahannes and why that's trending. Now, I saw this pop. By the way, don't search for Strokeahannes. Not a good idea. I saw this trending. I go to find out what's going on. President Trump tweeted out earlier on, quote, "It never ends. Now they're trying to say that your favorite president, me, went to Walter Reed Medical having suffered a series of mini strokes. Never happened to this candidate. Fake news. Perhaps they're referring to another candidate from another party." Now, where does this come from? Now, as you may remember, last November, President Trump took an alleged unexpected trip to Walter Reed Medical, and that prompted some questions at the time. And we've gone on. That was a year ago. And here we are right before the election, and this is now coming back up. The Trump campaign has actually suggested that that CNN should fire, I believe his name is Joe Lockhart, the journalist who actually tweeted out a question asking the president if this were true. But the big thing that came out of this was basically the assertion, or the suggestion that Mike Pence was notified that he should be prepared to assume the duties if the president should have to undergo anesthesia. Now, I would think that this is perfectly normal procedure, but the question, I guess, is of his medical condition. The irony of this is so ridiculous because I don't even think that this is something that right now is the time you should mention. I mean, you literally have Joe Biden as the candidate on the other side of the aisle, so bringing up health, probably not the wisest idea, but that's okay. We can do this. So let me take you back to November of 2019. Let's play the clip and let's see what got everyone up in a, I don't know, what everyone was talking about last year.
Mystery surrounds President Trump's sudden trip to Walter Reed Medical Center this weekend.
The visit did not follow the usual protocol for a routine presidential exam.
The president left the White House at 2:15 Saturday, looking casual with no tie and carrying a folder. He arrived at the renowned military hospital a half hour later. The unannounced trip caught the White House press pool by surprise.
Reporters traveling in the motorcade with the president did not know where they were going until they arrived at Walter Reed, and they were under direction not to report that the president had actually left the White House.
White House Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham appeared on Fox News to explain what was going on.
We've got a really busy year ahead, as you can imagine, and so the president decided to go to Walter Reed and kind of get a head start with some routine checkups as part of his annual exam. That's all it was. It was very routine. We had a down day today, and so he made the decision to head there.
Maybe the White House is telling the truth, the whole truth, by saying this was just a routine checkup. But the White House gives us new reasons to distrust almost every day.
Today, many doctors say the explanation just doesn't ring true.
Patient shows up, somewhat of an unannounced surprise visit to the hospital. What's going on? What prompted this visit? It is really odd.
We spoke.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and cut it there. That's their segment from last year. But why is this coming out now? Why is this coming out now? Well, there is a book that is about to be released. It's called Donald Trump versus the United States: Inside the Struggle to Stop a President by New York Times reporter Michael Schmidt. Now, interestingly, and this infuriates me that they would even make stories about this. It's the only reason why I'm even reporting on this. I would have left this completely alone, but they decided to ride this all day. The book reports that when Trump made an unusual announcement to visit Walter Reed in November 19th, in the hours leading up to Trump's trip to the hospital, word went out in the West Wing for Vice President to be on standby to take over the powers of the presidency temporarily if Trump had to undergo a procedure that would require him to be anesthetized, which suggests it was something serious. However, Schmidt reported nothing about a series of mini strokes, which is what is being kind of perpetuated here today, a full year later. And again, I think this is a ridiculous strategy. I would totally leave this alone. If I were somebody who supported Joe Biden, if I was on the effort to try to get Donald Trump out of the White House, totally leave this alone. You don't want to be perpetuating unsubstantiated fake news. You don't want to give Donald Trump new narratives that he can just ride through this election. They're making it too easy. Not to mention, he's running against Joe Biden. Is this really where you want to take this thing? You really want to talk about health? Because the questions with Joe Biden's health are pretty significant. I'd say far more concerning than anything you would say about the president, unless you want to talk about his mental state. But that's his personality, I think. Now let's go back over here real quick. So that's a statement. This is the new report. This is as of today. I mean, again, the questions
to Walter Reed. This has always been a really deep mystery, frankly, and there's a lot of things about this trip. This was back in November of 2019 that have never made sense, and it's challenging as a medical reporter because obviously, people are entitled to their privacy. There are protections against sharing medical information, which I think are very worthy and important protections. But this has never made sense. Okay, on a Saturday, the president goes to Walter Reed. It's an unannounced visit. That doesn't happen. The Dr. Conley, gets in the vehicle with the president. That doesn't happen. They go by ground instead of by air. That typically doesn't happen. The people over at Walter Reed, for the most part, don't know that he's coming. I mean, the President of the United States showing up on a Saturday. This is a man in his 70s who has a history of heart disease. We don't know what's going on. We looked at what the capabilities were inside the White House. Like if somebody is, there's a concern, a medical concern, what can happen in the White House versus what needs to be transported to Walter Reed. And typically it comes down to two issues. It has something to do with the brain or something to do with the heart. Now, but when we talked to Dr. Conley, he released a statement afterwards. He said, I can tell you this had nothing to do with the brain or the heart. Okay, so here we are. Can't get the information. The two things that it most likely is, they're saying it definitively is not. I think the idea that the vice president was put on notice and that of the possible invoking of the amendment is really significant information, but we still don't know what this was all about.
Yet we decided to run this story all day. You don't know what this story is about, and neither do I. I don't even know why I'm having to address this. This is silly. This is stupid. And this is really unreasonable considering, again, that Joe Biden is the candidate of the left. I mean, come on. Joe Biden. To round this thing out, let me play you guys a clip from Joe Biden's incoherent ramblings from not 24 hours ago.
COVID has taken this year, just since the outbreak, has taken more than 100 years. Look, here's the lives. When you think about it, more lives this year than any other year for the past 100 years.
What? I'm going to play it again because when I first saw it, I thought that it was a loop. I thought someone actually took this and looped it again. I told you, I watched his speech live. I was zoned out because clearly he was as well. Very hard to follow. Typical Joe Biden. Let's try again. Let's see if we can figure out what Joe Biden is trying to say. This is Joe Biden making his speech in Pittsburgh yesterday. He's upset. He's feeling like the president's not being a strong leader. He's not setting a good example for the American people. He's being divisive. And take it away, Joe.
COVID has taken this year, just since the outbreak, has taken more than 100 years. Look, here's the lives. When you think about it, more lives this year than any other year for the past 100 years.
Still lost. All right. Well, we'll try again whenever they give you the microphone again. Maybe there's something wrong with the president. Maybe not. Probably wouldn't tell you if there was. Is this a story? It's a non-story. But again, you're running with Joe Biden at health. I don't know if that cut out. No matter what you say about Donald Trump's health, there's nothing that's going to make me question his health more than I'm going to question Joe Biden's. And Joe Biden is the guy who's trying to get into office. I mean, we know Trump's a maniac. We know that he cares about himself and enriching his buddies. Like we know his personality, but mental fitness. I mean, that's just who he is. I don't know what's up with Joe. Joe was a different person 3 years ago. Joe's a different person a few months ago. And if we really want to start talking about the skeletons within each candidate's closets, Joe Biden's got some bodies, man. I mean, seriously. Do we want to go back to talk about Tara Reid and those allegations and how those were just swept up under the rug? Again, it is very easy to attack Joe Biden for policy, for character, for sincerity. They really need to stick to the issues. They need to start talking about what the Joe Biden platform is. I read through it today. There's some stuff in there. Again, I believe I have to question his sincerity, which is probably why he doesn't talk about his policies. But you don't want to start questioning medical health. Like, that's an area, definite no. I would totally leave that alone. It's a bad idea. In fact, I just look up now and I see Nancy Pelosi is trending because of her going out and getting, I guess she's getting her hair washed at a salon or something like that, and she doesn't have a mask on. You see, this is what happens, right? If you want to play these little games and you want to go back and forth and try to find every little tit for tat thing that the other side did, like, it's very easy. Everything's documented. We got cameras all over the place. You say stuff, it's all being recorded. Like, it's super, super easy. So maybe you should stick to policy. Like, if you really want to talk about why Donald Trump shouldn't be president, lots of reasons. You should stick to those. You should stick to the policy. You should stick to practice. You should stick to the fact that the man hasn't even maintained the same people in his cabinet. Like, there's lots of things to attack, but please don't give him an opportunity to call your story fake news, because you guys are making it way too easy. So with that said, I'm going to get out of here. If you guys like this video, make sure you give it a like, subscribe for more. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm intrigued. I mean, are these the kind of stories that you guys want to hear about with 60 days left to go in the election? Or do you want to hear about policy, substance? Do you want to know what each candidate is offering? Or do you just care about who's the worst candidate? Because, again, I'm not quite sure if either one of them wants to win at this particular moment. But by tomorrow, it could be flipped completely in the other